Podcast, a space dedicated to discussing sociopolitics, mental health issues, and nerd culture. I am the somber K.
And I am the. I was excited. Moisturized. I've done that one already.
Yes, you have. No, you don't get to cheat using my water bottle, bitch.
The natural spring water. Or no, I'm the pure quality Vesta.
Sure, Jan. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. I haven't even. You know what? Let me not even speak my business.
We just started. We're a minute in, and we already are doing the most.
But that's what y'all came here for. Anyway, so can we, before we even jump into all of this, get started or talk a little bit about the weather? Like,
nigga, fuck this weather. My skin was doing so good, and then the snow was like, oh no, no. You know what?
Hello, Starlight.
Oh, Starlight, you big fat white.
Why are you like this?
There's a video that I found once of Steven Universe that took Steven and the Gems walking into.
Wait. Minor Steven Universe spoiler. Fast forward.
Yeah, I ain't caught up by it, girl. So, they're walking. They like slide in the White Diamond ship. Steven goes, White Diamond, and it shows the diamonds all possessed. Oh, Starlight, you big fat white nasty smelling fat bitch.
Why you taking me off the motherfucking schedule?
Like, I can't find it, so I'm probably just gonna make it.
Oh Jesus!
And just make it over again. But anyway, yeah, fuck this weather.
Seriously.
I'm so mad. My skin was doing so good. I'm already broke out on one side of my face. I'm so mad. I'm so irritated.
Well, Mother Nature needs to smoke a bowl and calm down. But anyway, shall we get started with our Democrats and the Bloodlicking section?
Yeah.
Don't talk about ponytail.
Okay.
All right.
Let's do it.
I guess we can start with Anita as usual.
Yeah.
Which I hate that when we made this damn podcast, I promised I wasn't gonna. But the bitch is everywhere.
At WakandaCon. Okay, we start this podcast. We can't let it get. Well, don't want to keep bringing Trump up. I'm like, okay, sure, we got tight. 3 episodes in. So this motherfucker. It's just at this time of this political climate, it's
kind
hard to not mention him. Yeah, but did I play this for you? The clip of him apologizing for the.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Okay.
Oh, we shall get to that.
Okay.
So actually, that's the first thing on the Anita Chronicles.
Hey, how about that?
So, for those who don't know or haven't seen, what have you, we'll get to my cringy statement later, but basically, Anita Wall was all on the side, basically saying, what was he saying?
My condolences, my apologies. It looks like a hate crime. We're going to get to the bottom of this.
Bloody bullshit.
And he looked very uninterested and ready to keep his wig from flying off in the helicopter wind. So
the ever clockable wig.
Right. But my problem with that video was just how insincere it seemed.
Yeah,
It
was something along the lines of, yeah, we're pretty sure this is a hate crime.
And from what I've seen from my past discussions, it looks like it's a hate crime.
It looks like it's a hate crime. My deepest sympathies go out to the Jewish community. My whole problem is that there's no
statement, really. Like, they caught him walking somewhere. Like, out of the White House, into the White House.
Something. Meanwhile, we've got, people like Buttigieg who delivered a heartfelt condolence, or a heartfelt set of condolences out to the French, which we'll talk about later, but sent out a heartfelt condolences out to the French, but in French.
Mm-hmm. Hello?
The man speaks a whole 7 languages, and apparently is working on an 8th in learning ASL, because he also sent something out in ASL to a supporter.
I wish I had the brain power for that.
What, for 7 languages or ASL?
7 languages. I can pick up another one, possibly, if I study hard enough. But
they're like tattoos, though.
7?
They're like tattoos, though. Once you pick up an extra one, they just keep... There's just more and more and more. I mean, look at me, bitch. I learned French forever ago, and now I'm picking up fragments of Spanish, German, Portuguese, sign language, Russian, Chinese, Hebrew, Xhosa, which I wish I could pick up.
I just I can't do it. But anyway.
I just like him saying that he sends out his condolences or whatever. Why is it that
What do condolences do for him? Hey, how about you work a little harder to solve that hate crime and the other ones that keep happening on your clock?
Because you empowered these people. Oh, excuse me. So like I'm just thinking, why would he give his condolences to Jewish people when he said some Nazis were some very fine people?
How about that?
Interesting. Why are we turning into Minecraft villagers?
It's just yeah.
Really? Why do you keep bringing sleeves up? What?
I only do that because it's just like it's like the most memorable part of like that album to me. That wasn't supposed to be shade. That really wasn't. It's just one of her. Okay, let me rephrase that. One of her memorable "yas" is that. Just the auntie and then
went from to yeah.
To,
Anyway, we're getting off topic as hell.
Yeah.
So we're moving on. Still talking about Anita as usual, but question. Why are we paying?
Tell me what you think about me. I got my own diamonds in the
Stop, bitch. We're trying to get. We are. How? We're not even 2 whole minutes.
We're 7 minutes in.
How are we 7 minutes in?
Look at the timer.
Oh Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Okay, we need to focus. Like these people came here to listen to us. I guess. Y'all are out there.
Go on. I'll be quiet.
So paying, I don't even care to remember his name, but that Ofe that got himself knocked into a coma in North Korea because he wasn't following the rules, even though everybody and their grandma's third cousin twice removed told him to follow the fucking rules or they will fucking kill you.
Right.
And then they fucking killed him.
Mm-hmm.
Indirectly, because I mean they put him in a coma and then he died like a week after coming back here.
Yeah.
But the thing is, and Warmbier, that was his last name. It was like Otto Warmbier or something. And that's about his never mind, let me stop. But apparently we're paying his $2 million medical bills to North Korea.
Pourquoi?
To which I have 2 questions. One, why, when they were the ones that did it to him in the first place, and then, did what they had to keep him alive. 2, why are you paying his medical bills when A, he died, and B, we've got people, selling plasma and shit to try to pay for their medical bills?
Yeah, really, though.
If it was so easy to just give people money to pay for their medicine, maybe we should just have socialized healthcare or something. Interesting. Anyway.
Ignore the pipe in the wall. She decided this was her time to shine and go on tour. Really always when we're recording. Always.
I'm really feeling her beat this week. It's probably because of the temperature change, honestly.
No, someone's running hot water.
Oh. Anyway, can we move on to the fact that he's just been haranguing against Democrats left, right, and center about not letting his tax returns out or not letting his business out there?
Yeah, like, what is he so worried about?
I mean, it's the same thing that all these bootlicking cop supporters say. If you've got nothing to hide, you shouldn't have a problem with showing it off.
Right. Like, if you have nothing to show off, you should be all right.
Yeah.
However,
I'm saying that they're going to fight all the subpoenas. They're going to fight everybody. Blah blah blah. Just let it out, sis. Let it out that you
ain't sure.
Let it out that you sent a check to Natalia Krishanova to pee on you.
Ooh.
Let it out that I mean, let me not shame that. Because there are some people that are actually into that.
Oh, I will.
How much kink would a kink shame if a kink shame could shame kink?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway. They're fighting subpoenas and stuff out for, getting the entirety of the Mueller document released. And I maintain if you've got nothing to hide, why are you fighting it? But he's gone so far as to call people fucking treasonous for even involving themselves in the Mueller.
Yeah, like they're really pressed about this report.
I hope you stretch before that reach, sis, because you might have popped something if you're not careful.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And last but not least, so we can move on to more interesting topics. He's been crying about losing Twitter followers.
Are you surprised? I mean, I literally blow up.
Had a whole
feeds.
meeting with the CEO of Twitter, and
no, he didn't.
Bitch, no, he did not. Bitch, no, make me pull up the actual article outside of my outline.
Oh my god.
Because I am 100%
Oh my
serious. I
god.
am serious. I am so sincere. I am as serious as a heart
That's
attack.
stressful. Like, I don't want the proof. I'm just shocked that.
No, keep
Good
going, keep
God.
going.
Like, when he go to start crying, I need all my followers back. You guys are.
And all of his followers, I love you,
And
and I miss you.
Oh my god.
Like, really, bitch?
You really gotta be like that pressed about it. But go on.
Like, I didn't know the church shirt was running the country.
Right.
You got to be that level of press in order to even care that much about your Twitter followers, sis. Either way, he's the fucking president, and so he's going to have a colossal amount of followers, irrespective of what happens.
Right.
Like, why is this an issue? Why are we talking about this? Why is this important? Like, is this really what you need to be having meetings about? Is this really what you need to be focusing on? Is this really anything
The
necessary?
last thing.
You know what? It's not even worth it. I'm not even going to try to find this article. Oh, and of course, as soon as I say that, I fucking found it.
So we're just gonna move on to the next point because that doesn't need.
That,
all right, girl.
I feel my hair drying out talking about this. We're going to move on to more important people. Actually, no. There was one other thing about Twitter that I saw, whispers about upon Facebook about the people of Twitter considering banning white supremacists. Which
Unsurprising.
I'm sure there's a couple people, one specifically on my Facebook feed who I can think of, who's going to be crying about his free speech being impinged upon when I'm over here like, they're not the government, sis. They can tell you that because you think white people are better or whatever.
I'm about tired of hearing about free speech.
Like, get your frozen peaches elsewhere.
No, I'm just that such a irritating.
Misquoted.
Like, free speech doesn't mean you get to say what you want without consequence.
Mm-hmm.
It also doesn't mean you can just walk into somebody's house and call them a fat bitch for taking you off the schedule. And
You're going to be bringing...
and without punishment. Like, you think I have free speeches. I have frozen peaches in the freezer. Y'all can't tell me to do nothing.
What the fuck voice is this?
But in reality, like, people will do that. Like, in a conversation, they'll get mad because I have free speech. I can say, no, girl. Frozen peaches don't defend me from you wiping the floor with your dusty ass. It sure the fuck don't.
Exactly. And the thing is, Twitter is a private company. They can do what the fuck they want. If you are a Pepe Frog drawing, swastika wearing, neck beard having, fedora sporting bitch that likes to think fedora sporting bitch that thinks white people are superior and they don't want you on there, they can kick you off. And you can just die mad about it. But the gag is that they're debating about kicking off these white supremacists because they would kick a bunch of Republicans off of the platform too.
It's probably the best use of that soundbite so far.
But like the thing is, kick them off, sis.
They need to go.
They need to be better people if they want to use a platform.
They need to go.
Like, and they're going to be crying about, I got deplatformed. Well, bitch, you can go make Nazi.
You should have had a better platform.
Bitch, you can go make Nazi net if you want. Anyway.
If we ain't gonna hijack that shit, just work this pussy all over the fucking place.
Oh, bitch. So, speaking of which, please tell me you heard about that guy that hacked a white supremacist site and turned into a furry porn site.
Yeah.
I live.
Mm-hmm.
Cause
the furries are problematic too, but I live for that.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of problematic furries, but
sounds like a jewelry store.
Problematic furries.
Furries.
Make your wedding sparkle at furries.
Make your wedding sparkle in furries.
Make your anniversary pop at furries. Jesus, we need to stop recording so late at night. This is a mess. So we're going to move on to my fave. Go ahead and get your giggles.
What's her name?
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Oops. I held it too long.
Wow.
I need to get my programming together, yo.
I don't know if I mentioned this last time. That she got invited to go talk to coal miners in Kentucky.
Yes,
because
you did talk about that.
they thought that the coal miners were going to embarrass her and her Green New Deal foolishness, according to them. I love it, but so now they're trying to rescind it because they realize that she's smarter than they think she is.
Wait.
Wait, no. And I'm sure she's just she dragged them on Twitter though. Like, oh no.
I finally got to use it. I haven't used it once.
Jesus.
All right.
She called them out on Twitter saying, I'm still coming.
I'm going.
Are you afraid that I'm going to show your constituents that I'm fighting for them harder than you are, even though they elected you? Sounds like someone's a little scared.
No, I was going to press it, but it's okay.
What were you going to press?
Ursula cackle, just like her, like laughing at them. Seems like someone's scared. Okay.
Jesus, we need to stop spiking the mics.
But yeah, I stand. Well,
sidebar?
Not as hard as you do. But.
Sidebar, Time named her one of the 100 most influential people of the year.
Yeah.
She's got the men scared and the people with any kind of sense standing. So I'm here for it.
I love it.
Last but not least, you know what? We didn't actually watch the video on this, and we meant to. So can we, be right back?
Sure.
So be right back, y'all.
So my question for you is, when you talk about children shall be treated individually, what are you saying? Are you saying here, when you quote this research, that the problem really is that black children are just more of a discipline problem? Because that's the research you've quoted in your report.
Well, Congresswoman, I've said it before and I'll say it again. No student, no child should be treated or disciplined differently based on their skin color, their race,
and I think
or their national origin.
Your report agrees with that. They just say that by the very basis of being a black child, you are more likely to be a discipline problem. That's what the study says that you quoted in your report and said, that's why we now think they may not be motivated by race. Black children are just plain old more disruptive in the classroom. How did you come to that conclusion?
Children should never, ever be discriminated against.
Well, I hope you take those
And
words
if
to
they
heart
are treated
and
differently
repeal
or
your
disciplined
citing
differently.
of this research.
So what you all just heard, because we had to make sure we familiarized ourselves with the audio and, do a little bit of cutting and pasting to actually put it in, is, oh God, and I just lost her name.
I can go back and find it.
Oh, Jesus.
Because her nameplate is right there in front.
So a Miss Clark, we can do a little more digging to find out her actual name.
Congresswoman Clark, yeah.
Yeah. So she's basically grilling Betsy DeVos on DeVos's decision to reverse some protections on black children because black children are disproportionately punished. And DeVos's defense for that is effectively that, children should be judged individually. Yeah, that would be nice in a fantasy land.
But it ain't gonna work.
But it's not gonna happen.
Because she quotes some author that I think I left it in, or I might have cut it out. But she brings up that when she did research on the author that she cited, that Betsy cited for the report, author also was just like, yeah, the racism, poverty, and all that shit, all the racism,
fantasy.
nah, not real.
It's a liberal
They ain't got to
fantasy.
do shit with nothing.
And I bet you that was a whole Caucasian man.
A whole mayonnaise jar. A whole jar. So Betsy, and then she was sitting there trying to spit the bullshit.
And
her defense,
and sounding like somebody's PTA parent the entire time.
Right? She literally was just like, I don't. No child should be
judged by their skin color.
But you literally cite an article that says that black kids are just a problem just because they're black. That's literally what the article says
She
that you
needs to
cited.
go. She just needs to go.
Girl, if you don't get your fucking
to another country,
if
to
you
another
don't get
planet,
your
to hell,
Jim Carrey and the Grinch looking nose and jawline out of here,
I am sick of her, and like, just go, because I don't even understand. You know what? I understand exactly why she's been elected, because she knows how to make sure people get treated like shit.
Yeah.
Clearly, because she's also loaded.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Girl, bye.
girl, bye. Anyway, we are actually going to be moving on to our rapid fire section. Starting off with the fact that the Mueller report is finally out. It is a whole novel, so we haven't gotten a chance to read it yet.
Yeah, honestly.
But I mean, with the way that
Isn't it like super redacted though?
yeah, which is why I kind of don't even want to bother yet.
Girl, if you don't unredact that garbage and put the whole thing out.
Yeah, but once we get more info on it, I'm sure we'll be talking about it, possibly in our Democrypts and Bloodlickin section.
Yeah.
Also, fuck rich people, just in general, including Betsy DeVoice as on principle, but in general. So, I'm sure some of y'all saw about the Hellfire, Dark Fire.
No.
Rude. Saw about, Notre Dame burning down, or most of it burning down.
I'm kind of sad that it burned down, just because it's Notre Dame, and it holds a place in my heart because of that musical, and I don't know, I have a thing for like old architecture. Architecture?
Gothic architecture is beautiful.
Yes.
But
that's my whole problem. Fuck the people that built it.
especially the Catholics.
Fuck the people that built it, run it, and still have it. All that shit.
Because
y'all can go to hell. Y'all can burn with the fire. But
y'all can burn like Frollo.
why are we acting like
The Catholic Church isn't the richest organization on the goddamn planet and can fix the Notre Dame just fine without anybody's fucking contributions.
And why are we also acting like there aren't black churches in the South being bombed to this day?
3, specifically, around the same time that Notre Dame.
No. So those 3, that's like the worst. That's like the icing on top of the shit cake. That 3 churches that happened around the same time as Notre Dame, and everybody gave all their shits about Notre Dame and mentioned nothing about.
And I'm pretty sure those churches, the GoFundMe for those 3 churches in Louisiana, maybe broke 100,000.
And
let me find that GoFundMe.
And we have churches bombed in the South all the time. There was a whole documentary. I think Spike. What is that director's name? Spike Lee? Is that his name? What is his name? Black director dude.
Oh, never mind. I spoke too soon.
Oh.
The black churches in Louisiana actually got. Well, here I've got the article right here. On Sunday, a fundraiser to help 3 black churches rebuild from arson had raised just below 50,000. By Wednesday morning, the total had skyrocketed to 1 million. So,
Good.
So yeah, they're actually getting some kind of money, which is good.
My problem though, there's a whole ass documentary about 4 black girls when in 63 there was a huge bombing in Birmingham, Alabama for a Baptist church, and it was severely underreported. It's so weird how history works like that. How shit just happens and then happens again. Where the only thing they talk about 4 little girls died in a church fire.
Okay.
As if it wasn't bombed. And as if they gave no names. They gave no distinction. Oh, four little girls died in a fire. Church fire. They didn't mention that a white man went in there at night with a bomb and blew the fucking church up while people were in it. And what year is this? 63? And what year is it now? 2019? Oh, okay.
Still happening. I guess that fire wasn't as rapid on this oh wait, no, that was in terrible taste. That's not what I meant. I meant the rapid fire section that I'm talking about. I'm just, with the Catholic Church being the richest organization on the planet, why would we even need to donate to help rebuild Notre Dame?
Right. That's it. And that's that on that.
And a bunch of third world countries, I'm sure are starting to sweat a little bit, because France no longer has any trees tall enough to rebuild the roof as it was.
And that's
so I'm
that
sure
on that.
the French colonial asses are going to go off to,
An attempt to just, steal shit.
Be like, hey girl, we're just taking your trees. No big.
Exactly.
Y'all will be fine with slightly less oxygen. It's cool. Anyway, ugh. Oh, and Anita had the nerve to speak up on Twitter. Had his thumbs all firing left and right. Dump a bunch of water on it real quickly. That'll put it out. That roof is literally like 5 times his age, and a shit ton of water dumped on it would destroy the roof altogether.
Right. So shut up.
And like the entirety of Twitter was like, "You're not a firefighter."
Really?
Stop.
Like, shush.
Hush. Anyway, that was our slowest rapid fire section we've had. We're moving on to our palette clone. Bitch. Anyway. So, first up, Flint fucking finally got $77.7 million in a grant, kinda? Like, they said it was a loan that had 0 interest and would be forgiven 100%. So it's a grant, but I guess, I don't know. Maybe there's some kind of legal folderol behind it as to why they called it a grant instead of or called it a loan instead of just outright saying it's a grant. Maybe some tax stuff. I don't know. But Flint finally has some money to fix their pipes, so we'll see what happens with that and see if it doesn't fall into somebody's pockets instead.
Right.
Moving on. Netflix has greenlit a cartoon from South Africa, which is actually a first for the platform. And I love the name. It's just Mama K's Team 4.
I'm excited.
As am I. I can't wait to see whatever it is about. It looks like some kind of superhero thing, which, frankly, let's see some more black-created superheroes. You know? Next up, the movie version of one of my favorite musicals, In the Heights. It has... Good?
Yeah.
The movie version of one of my favorite musicals has cast their Abuela Claudia,
A...
who is Olga Meredith. Incidentally, was
Oh, she was
Abuela Claudia in the original version.
Mm-hmm.
Which I know if I watch this movie, at the end of it, I'm going to be a disgusting mess, like full-fledged, ugly, crying, snot everywhere.
I will be there with the tissues.
Because, like, I listened to the show a bunch of times while I was working at my old job. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of sad that happened, blah, 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 blah. And then I find out what a certain sound effect in the Broadway cast version is. And knowing what it is, like, that sound effect now immediately gets my eyes watering.
Yep.
Last but not least, and I live for this, Harry's Shave Company was just quietly like, hey, let's be inclusive.
Yeah, I saw it at work. And I was like, what in the goddamn...
It, like...
I was shocked.
It was just, it was so casual. And I forget what the exact line was that the commercial was saying as they showed him, but they showed this black trans guy lathering his face up and getting ready to shave. And
they make no big deal out of it.
Yeah, the only way you can tell is that he's got top surgery scars.
Right. And I saw it and I'm like, wait. And then I Googled it when I went, back to do my thing. And I was like, holy shit. Holy shit. I got to see this firsthand.
Yeah, I live.
I kept it quiet because, my clientele is kind of white and kind of sports fans, so I don't trust either of those things. But, yeah, I was like super happy to see that on TV.
I think that's actually it for our first section.
Yeah.
So we are actually going to be playing. Wait.
What are we playing? That's a good question.
We're playing musical roulette this week.
No, we had one picked. Oh no.
So, what are you doing, Vesta? Bitch.
I don't remember what song I picked.
Oh, well, we'll
are we playing the fast one or the slow one?
Let's play the slow one.
Okay, so get your striptease chairs ready.
Just listen for the let me sit this ass on you. Yeah, enjoy the music, y'all. We'll be back in a little bit.
like we were headed somewhere. That we had a future.
We can have any future you want.
And welcome back, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Are you good?
Yeah, I fucked up. I fucked up. So anyway, we're back, y'all.
We're back, y'all.
We're back, y'all. And we're blackity black. And we're black, y'all. And we're black. I'm sorry.
Are you done?
Yeah.
We need to have that as a sound effect.
What?
Are you done? Are you done?
Yeah.
Anyway.
As much as we say it, yeah, we need to.
Anyway, so we're going to move on to our mental health section. As always, we have our disclaimer beforehand. We are a couple of loudmouths with some mics, recording equipment, recording software, and no actual certifications or anything. We are not doctors. We just know that the brain be on some bullshit sometimes. So please, please, please take what we say with a stadium full of salt.
Okay. That works. Because sometimes you be picking the wackest.
Like a shipping ship full of
Yeah,
salt.
that was dumb. That was an L. Anyway.
Excuse me, that was an S for salt.
Wow. You know what?
Actually, it could be technically an N for salt.
Oh my god. Okay, so today we're talking about
Yes.
No, it's fine.
Yes.
No, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about today is
I believe we've touched on this subject before, talking about internalized bullshit, internalized anti-blackness.
yes, I brought it up a couple times. We had like one long talk about it.
And specifically having to do with a recent interaction with someone we'll just call Teddy.
No, we're gonna call him Ashy.
I mean, okay.
So
sure.
Ashy McCunt tits over there. I'm just gonna come out and say that it's an ex of mine. Fuck it. Whatever.
I mean, does he listen to this?
Probably the fuck not.
So then,
Too
does
busy listening to white people spit nonsense.
Okay, let's get started. You coming out the gate? Let's go.
So, such a poor choice in men sometimes, you guys.
I
Like
mean,
we've
sometimes the dick is just that good that you forget that they ain't shit.
and that's a prime example because that's the only redeeming quality. Only memorable quality that he has.
I'm just gonna let you shade.
So this said Ashy is becoming one of the. We all know someone like this where they get just balls deep into YouTube conspiracy theories or conspiracy websites,
I'm actually related to one of them.
and they come out and I like it went straight past my head and then did a boomerang back. So we all know these people who get balls deep into the conspiracy and then come to you and talk about how they are educated,
Okay, sis.
woke, like some people like to misuse that term,
Mm-hmm.
and spew nonsense.
Do you want to just like pull up the actual messages? stuff.
I'll just like go on like a cliff notes because girl, it's a lot. It's a lot.
It is a lot.
And it's gonna make my hairline
Yeah.
recede about 4 inches back.
Ooh.
So
Okay. I didn't know you were about to. I didn't know that he was able to give you a presidential hairline.
I know, right? Gotta get a.
So anyway, while
Gotta
Vesta,
hit Miles GF for them coupons for those lace fronts.
can I have my wig?
Ma'am, we just want the wig. My wig. So first of all, on my personal Snapchat that none of you will be having unless you already have it. I was eating dinner at Easter time and I was in front of the Trump Tower in Chicago.
Sorry.
At a real expensive restaurant. Good food with so much money. And as I'm waiting for my family to come out, there's a couple of white folks out on the street just posing in front of the tower like it's Statue of Liberty. Just funny poses and shit.
Like, oh my god!
All looking like
I got
Jersey
to.
Shore with crack rock cocaine in the production, if there wasn't enough already. And as people were walking by giving them funny looks, they would shout, Trump 2020, I love my president, or, mind my language, I might have to censor some of it, fuck niggers and specs. So
That's a detail I didn't get.
So
What's the address? I just want to talk.
So I recorded them on Snapchat and I look at these fucking crackers salting all over the street right now. Something like that. And they made it onto Snapchat story. I got 300 views on that Snapchat story. So somebody was mad as hell. So said Ashley happened to see it and pointed out that it was not okay for me to call them out of their name. That was the initial start of the conversation. Amongst other things that he was like, oh, we don't, whenever we have political conversation, you kind of check out and don't keep it going. I mean, because if I keep it going, I'm going to yell at you. And I don't have enough shea butter for you or me. So
oh no, he could dive into a whole vat of shea butter and still come out looking like he'd been kneeling in flour.
He would look like he needs just a little bit more, even after a vat, and the vat would be empty. Just
swan dive in, and you just hear of his skin being parched and drinking in.
So, I go, okay, cool, whatever, and we start to talk about politics. I'm like, fine, I'll just engage you in a political conversation, and whatever gets your rocks off, girl, because it ain't me. So I'm talking about how in Illinois it's a lot different. It's not as liberal, it's not as diverse, and it is nowhere near as like people aren't as actively out for racism as it was in California, specifically the Bay. And then he goes on to say, no one person or group goes through something unique involving discrimination. That's what he was referring to. So I'm gonna have to stop right there. It's a problem. Yeah, girl. What? So goes on to talking about how there are things that can be reoccurring. It's not a specific thing, that is such a contradiction of a statement. Because you literally say no one goes through something unique, but then goes, there might be more of like a certain thing, but what are you talking about?
I'm lost.
Right. I was already lost. I'm like, okay, yada, yada, yada. He brings up, it wasn't this bad this year. A few years ago, people didn't care this much about race before, which is another wrong statement. For years now, people have been mixing races and cultures, but now I can't even have friends because no one trusts each other. It's because you don't shower, and your room just smells like hot ass cheeks in the middle of the desert
with a dash of smegma.
Oh God. At its cheesiest. They aren't looking for things we have in common anymore, just the surface level. I may be a conspiracy theorist. Now listen, that's something unique. We have to praise him for coming out and announcing that he's a dumb fucking idiot. And but things like this don't happen without a little help. You have to whisper in people's ears or tell them in a certain way that this kind of shit is acceptable. And I go, what kind of shit? Being aware of racism and discrimination and calling people out on it, like that's not okay now? Like, I'm sorry if it bothers you that the people you like to fuck also don't like you, but but that's just the reality, girl. What else can I even sum up?
I mean, he
said thriving in your race is racism.
Oh, and that's the point that I wanted to jump on.
Thriving in your own race is racism. That was the statement that started to send in from like a slightly downward incline to just
off the
180
cliff,
just down. I'm sorry, that's 90 degrees. 90 degrees. And he went on this whole tangent about how being the typical American man, I've been taught by everyone else around me to treat others how I'd want to be treated. There will always be assholes out there, but I can't be inclined to believe that when more than 75% of the country supports gay rights. Where do the two and two come together, girl?
Outside of intersectionalism.
Where does girl? There are gay white folks that don't. Have you not seen Have you not seen a flyer in San Francisco for a gay club that isn't for that? Just a gay club.
That's just covered in white twinks.
White, Hispanic, and
white
everything that ain't black.
Pretty much. And if you're black, you're, you double pass the fucking paper bag test.
Right. Exactly. So, unless it's like specifically, like there are some events out there that are being organized that are solely people of color, which, kudos, we need it. But that don't mean shit. Mm-hmm. The same people that support gay people will sit there and be like, I would love lynchings to happen.
Which only just recently became a federal crime.
And starts trying to give a history lesson about how America was founded. And okay, so here's the one
I was
that's
gonna say,
going
there
to
was
really bother me.
Oh yeah, because there was something in there that just like
America was one of the first countries to dismantle slavery, and the first ones to stop Jim Crow laws, aka systematic racism. Racist sentiments can still be passed down, but you can either change the person's mind, girl, change the person's mind, like a lot of people have been doing for decades now. No, they haven't.
No, they
and or nothing.
as Vesta slams his phone down.
Why are you applauding the country for solving the problem they created in the first place?
First of all,
Girl, that's like breaking into somebody's house, breaking their vase, repairing it, and then demanding money
for fixing
for
it.
fixing it. Girl,
Yeah. And sidebar, this is going to come back around to mental health stuff in a little bit.
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time.
No. Go on.
This takes place in my rant, by the way. I have nothing for this week. What else? Nationalism isn't supremacy. Okay, girl.
Yes, it is.
It's racism when you start looking at people as us versus them. When who was that? Was that Muhammad Ali that made that point in that video where he talks about you think just because a couple of white people are nice, I'm gonna just act like white people aren't the problem?
I mean,
Like, kudos to y'all for trying to make a difference, that actually want to make a difference and aren't a pick me spotted bitch. But
and some of you might even earn a to-go plate.
right. But we ain't gonna act like just because there are some good white people, we're gonna ignore the problems that consistently happen that are lacking in melanin. So that and
There's a couple people I can think of, like Jane Elliott can get a to-go plate.
other than people being assholes and my mental problems, which I'm not gonna knock, but other than I should be oppressed as hell. I'm not. I'm pretty privileged where I am. You live in the Bay Area of California.
One of the most liberal areas in the country.
You live in the Bay Area, and the only thing I could knock you for is the fact that you live in Martinez, which is where all the white people pretend to be country and rednecks, when they live 20 minutes away from one of the gayest cities in the world. So, there's a segue in here that I had planned. I've yet to meet an overt obstacle in my life, especially from authority members. The police don't care about me, girl, because you don't go outside and you don't do nothing. That's the tea.
Including shower.
I don't agree with what most black people have to say. So that means I have to have my black card taken away. This isn't just black people, but it's very strange how some black people want to talk about how the system fucks them over. Even though they're the ones making the bad decisions, there are always assholes that think they're justified in what they do, but that shit isn't being praised when my ideas are getting shit on. It's not all black people, but you can't be all about justice when you're doing injustices.
Okay.
And then I went and said, girl, I dated you for 2 years and I've known you for longer. You need to unpack that internalized racism because no one provoked that conversation, but you steady had a lot to say about black people.
Mm-hmm. And the internalized racism is the stuff that we kind of want to that we really want to touch on today.
Yes. That's the segue.
Da-da. I don't think it really works if you announce it, though.
I don't give a fuck. Segue.
Anyway, so like I said, that conversation kind of wanted to spark it up, and I know that there's a lot from me that I'm working on, but Vesta and I on the way to the studio to record, we're actually kind of talking about this in the car, about how 10 years hence, I really wish I could I started to say that I wish I could take my mind now and throw it back to when I was 17, 18 years old. So that way I can make a bunch of better decisions. But at the same time, no. I thought about it as I was saying that and restructured what I was saying and said that I want to be able to take the parts of my brain that unpacked all that internalized anti-blackness that I was dealing with and send that back. Because my parents wanted me to go to an HBCU. And me now, right now, I've got too much going on to be able to go away to college.
Right.
I would love to be able to go to an HBCU now. It's like, hang on, because I was actually going to pull up the list of them. So the downside is that part of me wanted to stay in state, and part of me had a huge amount of anti-blackness to deal with back at that time.
Yes.
I didn't want to be like them. I didn't want to associate myself with them.
Those black people.
Yes, those black people, they're so loud and ghetto
Yet
and
here we are
and
on this podcast.
obnoxious and uneducated. I am much better than that.
Right.
And I'm going to go to a college that actually shows that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm over here now kikiing and loud as fuck.
Just loud. We loud and we proud.
And here's the thing. My volume does not dictate my blackness. My experiences and my skin color do.
Hello?
And whether or not Ashy wants to believe that his dark-skinned ass is going to get tackled by the cops just the same as I will, whether or not he wants to pretend that he wants to be a regular American person.
Those sentiments are of those of people that, again, sit behind a screen and do their learning that way.
Yeah,
Instead of going out and living it and having it happen to you.
Because we can talk about, truth be told, I took a class a little while ago called Racial and Ethnic Relations. That was one of the few college classes that I plan on forever keeping the book from, that I will gladly throw at dumbasses like him.
Same. I have a couple of books from like African American history studies. I have all those books. Because
the fact of the matter is that, unpacking all that anti-blackness and starting doing actual research from actual reputed sources that aren't, YouTube junkies that sat in the basement for too damn long and got high on their funky Dorito fumes. You actually start doing some research and finding out things that like, a black person with a high school diploma, some college, and no felonies, am still 5% less likely to land a job compared to a white person with a felony and a high school diploma and some college credits. All things equal, I'm 5% less likely to land a job. We're not even going to talk about my actual birth name that I have to use on applications and such that make me less likely to land a job. We're not going to talk about the fact that just about every Fortune 500 company is run by a white man. We're not going to talk about the fact that no matter what, whether or not you are the least educated person on the block or Neil deGrasse fucking Tyson, you're still going to get profiled by the cops because of your skin. We're not going to talk about the fact that despite
I had a random thought, like an example of this pop up in my head. Do you remember when the dash cam footage of like a police officer just pulling over just a random woman of color, a black woman, and trying to give her some bullshit as reason why she was pulling her over, and found out she was a fucking public defender? And then I was just, and she's like, what's your name? And give me your badge number. I'm gonna need that on paper. Here's a pen. That was I just thought of that example. Go on.
Yeah, to which my response is,
My wig.
because she peeled it the fuck back.
Oh, she looked at him like, motherfucker, you best not.
I am not the one or the two or the three.
You got me 31 flavors of fuck the hell right up.
But I don't know. It was an interesting time. Like looking back at what I was back in high school, and even some of what I was in college, because I went to an extremely white college in the heart of Illinois, where, oh God, you never want to visit there in the winter. There's nothing to block the wind, and it cuts through everything.
Everything, I'm sure.
But
just like that voice.
But there was just so much. I had 2 black friends, I think. And I intentionally avoided other people. I stayed within that same little friend group, which, now has blocked and stopped talking to me because...
Oh, I'm sure. I've had a lot of that.
Because this nigga got out of line and we can't talk to him anymore.
Yeah, this one's can't be the token anymore.
Yeah, they're too busy, sleeping with their cousins and that making more gravestone-ass tooth-ass people.
Gravestone? Oh, God.
Please, you can look at the gum line
I
of
don't
each and every
subscribe
person.
to that bullshit. Get that away from me.
Like...
I agree. I actually went back recently to like old Instagram posts.
Oh, I went back.
Well, not Instagram, because I was okay by Instagram time. Facebook. Ooh, the shit that I saw on that.
Oh, God, some of the shit I used to say on Facebook.
I went, and it was funny because I did it right after I watched Miles J went back and read his old Facebook statuses. Trey Melvin did it. Jenna Marbles did it. They all went back and watched those shit, and like they said some problematic ass shit. But what they did
was growth.
I was a whole different person that didn't know no fucking better.
And who was it that said that they weren't taking the videos down because they wanted
Jenna.
to remain accountable?
Jenna. Miles doesn't really have any problematic videos, problematic in the actual problematic sense. Like, he's done the white YouTuber video. That's the most problematic video he has.
And that was him being a parody.
Making fun. It was a satire of real shit. But they don't take their shit down because they're like, I'm gonna show you. This is who I was.
And look at what I've become.
Let me take Trey Melvin out of it because Trey Melvin is actually guilty of doing that.
What? Oh,
He has a lot of problematic videos that have suddenly disappeared.
there was one that I really wanted to reference, and he took it down.
Yeah, there's a lot of
which
them
is
that are
actually
gone
relevant to this.
Mm-hmm.
He had a video up about quote unquote talking white.
Yes.
And
Because he did it over again.
he did it over again, but the problem is that he had a nice long train of thought in that original video that I wish he'd have kept up.
Yeah.
Because the fact of the matter is like, you can hear how I talk,
Mm-hmm.
you can hear how I speak, you can hear how I clearly enunciate all of my words and vowels and whatnot. The part of that is that internalized anti-blackness combined with picking up code switching,
Yeah.
and it kind of stuck. And granted, y'all hear me drop it sometimes. I say y'all all the time. But because of those habits, this is how I speak normally, pretty much. I mean, granted, my natural register is a few notes lower than this, but I feel like I'm a little easier to understand when I'm speaking up here, whereas if I'm speaking down here.
Right. And Trey was trade back then. Hard
Trade.
trade. Oh my god, trade Melvin. So I can understand why. So I can understand. I don't know. I have issues with that. I can bring that up at another time. But
It's an experience that a lot of us go through,
Yes.
of unpacking our internalized anti-blackness.
because it's fed
Once you
to
realize
us.
once you realize it's there, it's so hard to unpack it. And I know one of the biggest things that helped me unpack it, I feel like, was going, let's just see what some of this rap is about.
Let's see what some of this rap stuff is that the kiddies are listening to.
Seriously, like
True.
what was the big, like, I was already starting to try to unpack some of it,
Mm-hmm.
and then a huge catalyst for that was me starting to listen to "Good Kid, Mad City" by Kendrick Lamar.
I feel like I can't honestly relate to that part because it's different.
I've seen some of the stuff around your house. Your family reminded you that you were black as fuck, left, right, and center.
Constantly. I just know I said problematic things. I never said anything really bad about black people, I don't think. Trying to think about, yeah.
No, I had
so
some.
I was a victim of, I'm sorry, I'm going to just have to throw my faults out there. I'm going to do it. Have you ever heard the statement that a lot of white people throw? Either A, you're not one of those black people. That's the one. Or the other variation that I've heard a lot. There's black people,
And then
there's... I've actually said the second before. And
oh yeah, I had to read one of my friends. For this one.
I went way back into my memory of when I said it and why I said it, and I went, ooh.
Yeah. I see. The good thing is,
if I was around, I would have slapped the shit out of myself.
and the good thing is though, one of my friends used that statement. I didn't say it then because back then, still all that internalized anti-blackness shit.
Yeah.
And now, like, he sees all of the shit that I post and learned that, oh wait, I probably shouldn't be using this word, and has not used it since.
Right. That's called growth. Growth.
Anyway, because I feel like we're kind of rambling. How about this?
That's what this is.
A little bit, but it's kind of guided rambling. But if y'all have any comments on internalized anti-blackness, and if there's anything that you think helped you unpack it and work on it and address it, you know what the email is, askthebkcast@gmail.com. Let us know.
Right.
Okay, girl, you need to hush.
Same. I'm starving right now.
Yeah. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a break. Play that. What did we say? We were going to play the fast song.
The fast one now. So get your Vogues
Yeah,
ready.
get your Vogue, get your fans, clack those fans, hunty.
So see what I want.
Ugh.
What?
See that phrase? You know what that phrase reminds me of?
What?
Rue. Paul.
That fucking Greta Gremlin looking. No. It didn't come up with that first. The hell.
I know, but anyway.
So bye.
Yeah.
Girl.
So y'all enjoy the music, and we'll be back with some nerdy shit. welcome back.
Let me hear you say, "Hey, Miss Carter."
Hey, Miss Carter.
Say, "Hey, Miss Carter."
Hey, Miss Carter.
Give me some. Okay.
As we have a little dance party in the studio. Anyway,
Drop the bass, man. The bass get low. Radio. I'm sorry.
stop before. Don't. You better stop before Parkwood comes
Man,
after
ain't
us.
never seen it. Okay.
You better stop before Parkwood come after
What
us.
about my body? I'm at the house all alone. You better call somebody.
Are you done?
Let's go, little
Are you?
kitty cat.
Are you done?
I'm feeling sexy. Wanna hear you say my name.
So if y'all haven't caught on yet, Beyonce is here. Beyonce is coming to. You know, she's not even coming. She is standing and waiting.
She came.
No. Let me finish. Ooh. She didn't. Well, I mean, when he fucks me good, I take his ass to Red Lobster. But she's just waiting, with her hand out, holding a basket filled with edges.
Edges.
Because
frontals. 360 lace fronts.
Especially with the unclockable part. But so Beyonce, and this does fall under the nerd section because this is kind of money nerd stuff.
Yeah.
So Beyonce fairly recently dropped Homecoming, which is both the live album of her Beachella performance,
Right.
as well as the documentary on Netflix. Now, let me tell you how to recognize a bad bitch when you meet one. She got paid just as much as Arena Venti
Yeah.
for her Coachella performance, except she owns the rights to all of the footage from it. And I feel like, I don't have the article in front of me, but I feel like she, collected a smooth $50 million plus
Hello.
for that Netflix documentary.
Yep. Made corn off of Coachella and the footage from it.
And then was like, here. And then put Lemonade on Spotify. Like, she's fucking tired of everybody.
Tired.
Like, she got tired of Spotify asking her to put Lemonade on Spotify. Even called them the fuck out on Everything Is
If
Love.
I gave up about 2 fucks about streaming numbers, would have put Lemonade up on Spotify? Fuck you.
Oh my God. So
Fuck
somebody
you.
somebody on Twitter said something that took me to the ground.
What?
Talking about how Prince William cheated on Kate Middleton or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Wait. And someone was like, Beyonce put Lemonade on Spotify and Apple Music because she didn't know which one Kate Middleton had. But and it's probably Spotify because it's pretty big over across the pond.
Oh.
But I'm just gagging at the fact that she finessed all of this money out of everybody. And is probably going to go sit down and raise her children for a couple years.
Yeah.
And enjoy eating, food that actually tastes good and not, hard vegan for a couple months to get ready for the Beachella performance, which is sickening, by the way. Oh, and then on the live album, she also dropped a Before I Let Go cover, which folded in Candy by Cameo.
Yes.
And I know there's some people off in New York that were just gagging into the sun. But I Live.
Yeah. I've gotten halfway through it. I need to watch the rest of it.
Oh my God. I forgot I left that note on the outline.
I have a problem with this. So you go ahead and make your point.
So during Arena Venti's performance at Coachella. Okay, hang on. Okay. During Ariana Grande's performance at Coachella, somebody threw a lemon at her.
So here's.
And hang on. I want to know which one of the Beehive did that, because it had to be a Beehive stand.
Okay, so here's my problem. Beehive, whoever did that, you're trash.
Oh,
don't like that.
undoubtedly.
Don't like that. Because after all this girl's been through, having people shot up and bomb threats and
Depression.
and all this shit.
One
and
of her exes committing suicide.
You gonna act that much of a fool? Scare the shit out of her having something thrown at her on stage. You think that's okay?
Yeah,
Like I'm not down for that.
In the moment, I had to throw the phone. I was laughing that hard.
Now, given the blackfishing that she's
She's still doing.
still doing, I can't stand too hard for her. But given everything else that
Because why is a whole Caucasian woman darker than you?
really, but my whole thing was this. It's just let that girl just be, okay?
Leave Ari alone, please.
I don't know. I'm about to go ahead and set my fucking clock back 10, 11 years because ooh, that's a throwback for you for that ass.
Can we talk about how much he glowed up, though?
He did.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
I'll show you
I
later.
don't know if that's what that was called.
Bitch!
So next point we have to make,
Mortal Kombat 11.
which I have actually checked out of. I haven't paid attention.
I mean,
to it
neither
very
have
much.
I. I'm more paying attention to some of the drama surrounding it. Also, I know somebody who was in it, so
Girl,
doing an imaginary hair flip that nobody can see because this is a
this is a
podcast.
podcast. We don't have film yet.
Yet. Anyway, so there's a couple of bits of controversy floating around Mortal Kombat, like you do. Because I mean, when the game originally came out, there's a shit ton of controversy because people were pulling
They
spines
didn't
out.
they create the reason why the ESRB
I think so.
ESRB P? I don't remember what the thing is. Because TSRP and ESRB sounds very similar. But that's why the rating system came out. I think was because of Mortal Kombat.
Because they did the whole finish him.
And just violent as fuck. So
Scorpio. Oh, wait, what was it? Scorpion wins.
Frosty,
Fatality. Flawless victory.
go off. But Jax.
And that wasn't a soundbite. That was just me.
Yeah, I know. Just
Well, because last time I did some kind of voice like that, it sounded like a sound. Oh, because a couple episodes ago, I was like, the House of the Dead.
and I was like, whoa, you just need an organ under that and just call it a day.
So there's a little bit of controversy surrounding Mortal Kombat 11. I think it's just a lot of neckbeard controversy. Like, this whole thing smells of Doritos
Of
and Mountain Dew.
course.
So which do we want to talk first? Do we want to talk the ladies or the black people?
I'll talk about the ladies.
You want to talk about the ladies?
So their outfits are revealing and annoying, just annoyingly revealing. And I stand.
They're not Ivy from Soul Calibur 4.
I stand because now you guys have to. Now you guys have to deal with the shirtless men. Now y'all can look at that.
There's
from
all
now
of like
on.
3.
I know. It's just.
It's Johnny Cage, Jax
It's
kinda.
so unfortunate. They don't have any.
Poor unfortunate souls.
But I live for that. Like a lot of comic characters and coming to film don't have just gratuitous nudity, and a lot of video game characters don't have gratuitous nudity. They don't have overly sexual features and giant tits and fucking double basketball ass cheeks. Like, and people are mad.
Yeah, I actually pulled this up because I've got the art right here for Kitana and Jade, and look at the old compared to the new.
I know. I love
And
it.
Brendan George, a character artist, I've actually got a quote from him, or quote from another article. Our character lead, Brendan George, has been a breath of fresh air of just introducing new ideas. Our design is getting more mature and respectful. You're not going to wear a bikini to a fight. You're not going to be showing so much skin. I think it's just what the game is about. You're going in to fight for your life. You're not going to be wearing such scantily clad items.
And that's that on that.
It's just like how I liked the costumes from Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Like,
They weren't like, oh,
they
ass,
weren't like
ass,
tits
titties,
out,
titties,
unrealistic.
ass, and titties.
They weren't, tits out platform heels and fighting in that. I mean, Diana was fighting in heels, and that annoyed me a little because it's, not.
I live for that outfit. I live for those heels.
It's so.
I live for that. I mean, at least they weren't fucking high heels.
I know,
regular
like they
old
were
high heels.
wedges, but I'm over
I
here like
live.
flats are going to be more practical.
She doesn't need to be practical. She's Diana.
He came for them though.
Okay.
I'm sure it will disappoint some fans. We don't have bathing suit fighters, and I think that's fine. If people are disappointed, I don't regret making that change by any means. And there are just so many mad
You're mad.
Because you can't see tits. First of all, bitch, fan art is a thing.
Just take
and
your
I'm
shirt off.
I'm sure each and don't.
Spoken by two men who have titties. Just giant chesticles.
But one, fan art is a thing. Two, get the game on PC and get some mods, because I'm sure some lonely neckbeards are going to be making mods to swap in character models from the previous games.
Or
three,
buy the old ones.
or four, die mad about it. Because they're making a more logical approach to the outfits that they're wearing.
Right.
But yeah, they're just
They did that for Injustice too, I think. They had like a lot less.
shit. We still need to get that soundbite.
Yeah, I'll get it and put it in later.
Next, we've also got some controversy surrounding the ending, which Mortal Kombat spoilers, obviously, but there's an ending for Jax, also known as. Oof. Have you seen the new sprite for the new character model?
I have seen it. Mm-hmm. Just don't wet my floor, okay?
Bitch. Anyway, so at one point, for his finale, I guess they figure out how to time travel. So what Jax does is do some time travel finagling so that slavery, or so that the African slave trade never happened, but he still has his family. And people are somehow mad about that, calling it racist.
Oh no.
Because there were other people that suffered in slavery too.
Yeah, but
Bitch, why did you All Lives Matter this, first of all?
right, and why didn't you make your own game about it?
Yeah, if you wanted that to be a thing where people go back in time and cancel out slavery all over, then girl, we all have computers at this point.
Go
Make a
it.
game.
Write a story.
You can't then die mad about it.
Yeah.
Like, and you know what? And that's that on that.
Yes.
Last but not least, Love, Death, and Robots. Oh, bitch.
Thank you, Ace, so much for introducing me. I watched.
And I'd like to thank Angel. I'd like to thank Angel for introducing me to the series.
4 or 5 episodes of it. I think the first 4 or 5. And I live. It's like the Twilight Zone for blood, guts, and robots.
You know what else it reminds me of? And I know I told you this in person, but they need to hear it. It reminds me a lot of the Animatrix.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like each one is animated differently in a different style. It might be 2D, it might be 3D.
It might be, yeah. Or it might be both.
But it always has to do with robots in some kind of future.
Yeah.
Well, technology in some kind of future.
It's very dystopian, yes.
I know the first episode, and obviously there's spoilers. Love, Death, and Robots is on Netflix.
Go watch it. It's worth it.
The episodes are actually pretty short. I think the longest one is 17 minutes.
Yeah, that's about it.
And which is the first one, which is the one that I gagged about.
Which one?
It was about like psychic pit fighting.
Okay, yeah, that's the one I started with, and I was like, well,
I'm hooked.
Yeah.
So it's
the end of that. Ooh.
It was basically, think like Pokemon battles, except you have a psychic link with your Pokemon.
Yeah.
And the protagonist was like, let me just unfurl this and win out of nowhere.
Right. And it's interesting because you get to watch the fighters, in like the actual monsters, but you get to see the people controlling them. You can watch them. Mm-hmm. Dude controlling his is freaking out, they're doing all this stuff. Our protagonist does nothing.
She's just sitting there
flinch,
in a meditative
react.
pose with her amp.
Yeah.
I think that's what they called it.
It's like a Psyamp from System Shock. Yeah, it's very System Shocky. And then what happens? Like this dude's trying to pay her to.
Wait. Before the fight.
Yeah, dude's trying to pay her off to lose.
Yeah, and she's like, "I don't lose.
I don't do that. Not girl, where? Not this."
And so the guy who tried to convince her to lose, his main bitch,
concubine lady.
Concubine. Yes, let's go with that. His concubine goes up and talks to her and eventually flirts with her, and they start fooling around.
A lot of titties happening, and she's like, "Oh, this place is so new and different, and
I'm so naive.
And I'm wearing gold. I don't if I see another bitch in a gold fucking dress on that fucking show,
you don't trust them.
If they got a gold dress on and they're blonde,
don't trust them. So they're like caressing each other or whatever, and then at one point, Miss Concubine is like caressing the protagonist's jaw and just extends her nails through her skull.
Yeah, and protagonist doesn't die from that.
Oh, no, wait. We're not there yet.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, hang on. We're not there yet, though. Because old boy comes in and starts like curb stomping on the protagonist's skull.
Well, I was saying, like, that whole time she should have been dead because that went through her brain. She's still not dead. Gets thrown to the floor, still not dead. Dude, like, you should have taken like after curb stomps her, and the girl is laughing on the floor, and then you find out the whole time that she wasn't controlling the monster. Monster was controlling her. She's been the monster the whole time. And there's been multiple bodies that have been lost because people want. It's probably not the first time she's been offered up to lose, and he paid money for that monster. But
I gagged.
And that monster comes out, and the end.
But we're not going to go through a synopsis of the entire show because we honestly could.
But the one we stand for.
Right. Bitch, what was that one called?
Don't remember.
Oh shit.
Start talking about it. I'll find the episode.
Okay, so this one takes place in an alternate reality, China.
Yes.
Where they're fighting. Where it's a father and son, and they're hunting the Chinese equivalent of the Kisane demon. They end up tracking said demon down.
Right.
The kid ends up running into a pup named Yan. The dad ends up beheading the mother. Yan, and the kid lies to his dad and says that no, I didn't see any pups, and lets Yan live. A couple years later, dad dies. The protagonist, I guess, ends up going into goes to Hong Kong, I think is what he said. And at this point, trains start happening, and then it starts morphing into steampunk, and he goes from being a demon hunter to a train technician. He ends up running into Yan, who, as technology takes over the land, she starts losing her magic abilities to transform from human to,
Good hunting.
Thank you. The episode is called Good Hunting. Each of these episodes are completely compartmentalized.
Yes.
You can watch the show in any order. But he ends up saving her from being accosted by some slur-hurling British pieces of shit because England can't stay in her own fucking borders.
Right.
Fucking colonizer. There's some colonizer, oh, colonizer. Anyway, but like, there's one line, and I'm not even going to use a slur because I just feel like I need to wash my mouth out with soap. But he's like working on a train, and one of the supervisor's like, "Oh, you're very smart for a slur."
Yeah.
And I'm like,
got on my nerves. I'm like, so we getting real now. Okay. We getting real. Okay.
And then as he's leaving work for that day, doing the same thing that we have to do when we get backhanded compliments like that smile, but the smile doesn't go up to your eyes. It's like, oh, thanks, burn in hell. But as he's leaving work, he sees Yan, who has turned to being an escort to be able to, survive.
The same thing that people accused her mother of doing, which was very impactful to me when she said that. I love that.
But she's like, with the magic leaving the land, I can't transform as much as I used to. He helps her out some way. I forget exactly how. They go their separate ways. And they end up meeting up again, and she's wrapped up in a giant fur coat.
Looking like she just got out of a divorce hearing.
Which she kind of did, because she,
Oh, that was so fucked up.
It was really fucked
so
up.
Fucked up.
I'm actually not going to fully spoil it, but basically, she ended up being an escort for this guy that could only get it up for robots. And so, I'm not going to spoil the rest of that, or what all happened. Y'all just need to watch it. But she ends up with a cybernetic body.
Damn, bitch.
And so he ends up he at this point in time had shifted over to working with cybernetics and androids and such, and ended up making like a steampunk rabbit that hopped around his apartment.
That was fully functioning, had his own intelligence and everything.
But he ends up working on making a body for her,
a whole body,
and then has her drink something, and then
bitch.
she like, just watch it. We're not going to tell you.
My wig.
Just gone.
Like, you, me, and Ace were just like, yo!
Like, oh my
the entire time.
God. It was so... And I'm like, I need to stop. We need to pause
Wigs,
here.
you can probably hear the faint whistling of wigs in orbit after that.
On their way to Japan.
But, Watch it. We wholeheartedly endorse it.
We watched the first 8 episodes of the first season.
There's more seasons!
Is there more seasons? Oh no, it's just season 1.
Oh, well, for now, there's only one season.
But that's getting more. That's got to get
It
more.
needs to. It's so good.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
1, 2, 3, 4. Ba.
There's 9 episodes left after that.
Oh wow, there's 17 episodes.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So, yeah, get your life, get all that shit together.
Seriously, like I loved it. I'm probably gonna end up watching another episode when I get home after this.
Yeah, same. So, anything else you
Actually,
want to talk about?
yes, bitch.
Yes, bitch. Bitch.
The fucking edit from Steven Universe.
Try and catch me, bitch.
Anyway, sorry, I'm trying to laugh because what I'm gonna be talking about.
I'm gonna have to step back for this. I
So,
can't do.
fairly recently, there's some news that circulated and we were flip flopping back and forth about this to go in our mental health section. There was some news that circulated around about one 15-year-old named Nigel Shelby who died by suicide due to relentless bullying after he came out. He was 15. And I don't know how to process this really, because I don't know if I mentioned this before on the show. I'm pretty sure I have, but there were some circumstances when I was around his same age that I was really close to committing suicide and had some dates lined up. I wouldn't be sitting here speaking. And the fact is, like, I've got so many questions about this. He was a kid. Where were these teachers? Where were the people that are supposed to be put in place to report this shit happening, to tell the shitty kids to stop teasing him? Where's the because he was a young black man. No, a young black boy. We need to change that narrative because he was only 15. But where was his support system so that way he felt like he could actually talk about this? Like, I'm not dragging or shading his parents or anybody close to him, but at the same
But
time,
the support system goes outside of that.
exactly. I'm not going to shade them or their loss. What I am going to talk about is where was the support system that he needed? This is something that I wish I'd have had. Or a support system is something that I wish I'd have had growing up. So that way I felt like I could talk about anything that was going on in my head. But it's such a fucked up mentality that people have in our own black community about mental health things, about mental health being, a white people thing, about how you need to just go pray it away and stuff like that. When this shit's real, the suicide rate amongst black teenagers is rising because of all the bullshit that's happening and nobody's talking about it. That's half the reason why we talking about it here. Why is nobody doing anything? Why is there no huge support system for this kid? He looked like he had like his mom even said that he had so much more love to give. What the entire fuck? I can't even get as fiery as I normally do because this is too close. And we say it at the end of every episode, and I cannot mean this more, that we need to do better by our kids, do better by ourselves, do better in the idea of not just saying that you can pray whatever is going on in your head away, because no, that doesn't happen. I spent a solid 10 years of my life trying to actively pray away having an attraction to the same sex. I spent a solid 10 years begging for some kind of proof that would, keep me in the faith. I did all this and got nothing. It's part of why I don't have a faith system now. But I have a support system, and I have my support system that I created. I have people who are closer to me than my own family that reach out and check on me and make sure that I'm okay, make sure I'm not going through too much shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that I had to make on my own. I'm closer to these people than my own biological family.
Right.
And I, by luck of timing, lived long enough to create that support system that Nigel never had. Where were these teachers? Where were his friends? People had to know that this was happening. This couldn't be so quiet and so under the surface that it drove somebody to suicide, that nobody saw it. You know, it's the same reason why we brought up that Betsy DeVoice bullshit earlier, that black kids are more susceptible to this, that, and the other. I don't know. This is... I want to say more about this, but I know that I'm going to collapse into fucking tears, and that's not anything y'all want to hear. So I'm just going to...
To end that, I just found a picture on Facebook that's like, I live.
Oh, actually, hang on. I've got something.
Okay.
Keep that picture. I just remembered something that might actually ignite a little bit of a fire under me.
Okay.
To the bitch-ass cop that had something to say, you know what? Hang on. We'll be right back. Okay, I found what I was looking for. I didn't want y'all to hear me, just muttering while I try to scroll through and find this, because I needed to find this, because this pissed me all the way the fuck off. Let me just read part of this article. A sheriff's deputy in Alabama is on leave for anti-gay comments he made on a Facebook post advocating for more awareness about bullying after a 15-year-old killed himself. Madison County Deputy Jeff Graves wrote that he was seriously offended and that society cannot and should not accept this behavior in response to a post shared by Huntsville TV station WZDX on Sunday, according to AL.com. He wrote in a series of comments that have been removed, but the internet never forgets, bitch. Let me see. Hey, look at that. I found his comments. Blah, 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 blah. I'm seriously offended that there is such a thing called this movement. Society cannot and shouldn't accept this behavior. I have a right to be offended and will always be offended by this fake movement, which requires no special attention, but by persons with an altered ego and a fake agenda. Here's the thing. You can be as callous as you fucking want, but a kid died because of the mentalities that you carry. A kid died because he was bullied to death by kids that share your same mentality, by kids that were raised with people with your same mentality. By keeping this kind of homophobia on you, you have his blood on your hands. And I sincerely hope that you lose your job and everything that you hold dear because of it. Like, he keeps going on. I'm not even going to dedicate too many more brain cells to this trick-ass bitch because he had the nerve to talk shit about a 15-year-old that killed himself for the same shit that he's talking about. Go ahead and read it. And he's like posting this T-shirt that floated around Facebook a little bit ago that said LGBTQ, Liberty, Guns, Bible, Trump, Barbecue.
That already stressed me out.
Like, one, barbecue starts with a B, not a Q, bitch.
I didn't even realize.
It ends with a Q. That's not how acronyms work.
Oh, girl.
But continued on with that comment that I just read off, which he spelled accept wrong. He spelled accept like except for this, that, and the other. Not accepting, kids so they don't fucking kill themselves. I just, what is it going to take for these people to abandon these archaic mentalities that gay people are bad, gay people are wrong, gay people this, that, and the other? What is it going to take? Is it going to take, I almost want to ask if it's going to take their own kid killing themselves, but I don't want to wish that on anybody because I, have some kind of compassion. Is it going to take somebody close to them coming out? Is it going to take... I honestly don't know. If somebody has a suggestion, y'all know the email. Because there's got to be something done. We've got too many kids killing themselves. We've got too many people killing themselves for this.
He's on administrative leave.
He's on administrative leave, which means he's probably still collecting a check. And I'm not here for it. I'm already not a fan of the police, but they're actually just keeping him on the payroll because he was joking about I'm sorry, not joking, but talking bullshit about it after a 15-year-old killed himself. Go. Just say you hate gay people and go.
So to end this, there's a picture of someone that says, Black community, if you posted about Nipsey Hussle and didn't post about Nigel Chauvel, you prove the definition of conditional love. Mm-hmm.
And that's that on that.
And that's that on that.
I think we're going to call it here because, like I said, I'm torn between screaming and crying.
Yeah.
So we're just going to kick the music. That wraps up yet another episode of the Ballroom Kids. If you've got any questions, comments, great ideas, or just want to say hi, shoot us an email at askthebkcast@gmail.com, or you can give us a like and a DM on our Facebook and Instagram pages. You can also get a hold of me on Twitter. I am at the Iron Magnus. That's THEIRONMAGNUS.
You can find me on Instagram as Vesta with 2 underscores. And then there's my personal one, which is house_of_fire. There's a lot of selfies. I got some cute, fashionable pictures, and I'll be posting a lot. Yeah.
Just
Get at
15.
me. Yeah, I know.
We're just gonna go. Y'all do better. Please do better. And just a quick reminder, we are a TSRP Network podcast. We'll see y'all next time. Just do better, please.